Ladies and gentlemen, with our next topic, the inclusion dividend in the AI era, reimagining digital payments for development. It's indeed an honor that we have joining us Ms. Nshuti Mbabazi, Managing Director, Better Than Cash Alliance, who's joining us. Let's give her a warm round of applause as we welcome her on the podium. Ladies and gentlemen, this is all happening at the day 2 of the Global Fintech Fest.
Good morning. Is it morning? Yes. Good morning. And I see many participants are standing in the back, but it really is an honor to be here today and join the vibrant GFF. It's my first time in Mumbai, and I was introduced to this sector through a fintech solution that came to my country, and I'm seeing the person who brought it here in the room, so really quite exciting. But on this topic, it really is an honor to have Better Than Cash Alliance join the conversation on the inclusion dividend in the AI era, reimagining digital payments for development. And I stand here really carrying the voices of 1.3 billion people that still remain excluded, and over 100 million of those are in India. And this topic sits at the intersection of innovation, equity, and impact. And we must ask ourselves not only what tech can do, but who must it serve? As I stand with the 1.3 billion that are yet to be served, according to the Fintech that came out in June, and the over 3 billion that are financially insecure, that don't have access to emergency funds, what can technology do to serve them in a way that digital payments come into their lives and, in fact, become better than cash? The good news is that the inclusion dividend is a measurable return on the economy, on society, and on human development. And it comes from embedding inclusion in digital transformation. With AI, this dividend is amplified. When designed to leave no one behind, when it is centered on trust and building resilience in a world that is facing climate challenges, among others, they become tools of dignity and not just transactions. And for me, that is why I have dedicated the last 15 years on digitalizing payments and scaling financial inclusion, because the dignity that payments brought for the first community that I served with a digital payment in a refugee camp that had for 15 years depended only on food being brought in from outside the country. But within a 6 months transition from food deliveries to cash in hand through a digital wallet, dignity came into the households, especially for women and girls that now had the power to save for those deeply felt needs that they had. So AI is a catalyst for inclusion because it enables personalization for underserved communities by analyzing mobile usage, payment patterns, and alternative data to unlock access for as many people as possible. AI also can reduce onboarding costs, automating credit scoring, and enhancing fraud detection, because trust is the currency of digital, and trust is what has to compete with cash. And it is digital and AI that really can make it viable to serve low-income and remote communities, those who have long been excluded from formal finance. But to do that, we must be intentional. We must be intentional in everything that we do to ensure we design for individuals, those who have solutions in their hands and don't trust them, or those that don't have them at all. To get there, we must bridge the digital divide. We must confront the digital divide, especially in rural, gendered, and low literacy context. And inclusion demands infrastructure, broadband access, digital ID, and affordable devices, because there is no digital payments for us to enjoy phone pay if these are not in place. And this demands ethical AI systems built with consent of those we are serving, oversight for those who know better and therefore must do better, and community engagement. And when we know better, to ensure, when we know better what the community needs, we can ensure that AI does not deepen exclusion, but rather dismantles it once and for all. And that responsibility, I think, and it is an opportunity for the fintech world. DPI is a fantastic enabler, as the India Stack has demonstrated. Integrating identity, payments, and trusted data exchanges does unlock scalable, interoperable services across every sector. And we've seen it here in India. So with robust DPI, countries can be better positioned to harness AI for inclusive development. And this is a governance imperative that we at the Better Than Cash Alliance are committed to doing. Better Than Cash Alliance is a member organization. We have 80 members, 33 governments, international organizations, including our hosts, UNDP, corporates like H&M, Gap, the Ethical Tea Partnership, the World Cocoa Foundation, who have made the commitment to use digital payments to transform lives. And we have seen progress in the last year, over a decade that we've been here. In Ethiopia, we were able to deliver a payment strategy, their first ever, just on the back of the COVID-19 pandemic. But in 2 years, we saw an account growth of over 70 million accounts. And according to Findex, the gender gap has narrowed in account ownership, but still, when you double-click on some of the countries in the global majority, that gap is still so much wider. We see ownership by more countries of this inclusion agenda. Mobile money, has transformed so many lives in my continent. And these are not just numbers. They are lives that have been changed. And when you walk in the streets of Kigali, or in Nigeria, or in Kenya, or even here in India, you do see that transformation. The policy levers, therefore, for inclusive AI, I can divide them in three: what is immediate, medium-term, and long-term needs. Immediately, we need that universal connectivity. It is not right that still billions are offline. Digital literacy, because there is no fintech solution that will be utilized to the profit that it can bring without the literacy to use it and understand it in a language that someone speaks and interacts with every day. And inclusive product design. And this is what I loved working with Ginger on M-Visa, which has gone on to be Scan to Pay or Visa Pay. But we went into the community, whether it is someone in a refugee camp or a shop that we enjoyed having coffee, Bourbon coffee. We designed with the users in mind. And I had a chance to do this also when I was in EcoBank, leading the group Merchant Solutions, going to the streets of Accra to speak to ladies who are selling roasted plantain on the side of the road, and really designing solutions that worked for them just as well as they worked for the biggest supermarket, ShopRite in Accra. In the medium term, AI ethics boards are necessary because so many things are happening with AI, and without accountability and intentionality to build trust, we won't go anywhere. And we see these are coming up. Competition policy to drive reforms and reskilling of the population to be AI ready in order to harness all the solutions that are sponsoring this fantastic event. In the long term, of course, we will need differentiated national roadmaps, sector-specific playbooks, and we've worked on a DPI playbook that will be launched in November at the DPI Summit in South Africa, that we worked with the presidency of South Africa's G20 presidency to develop. And we will need shared agenda. Technology is competition, but mainly it thrives on collaboration. So government, fintech, civil society, and development partners must co-create the future we want to see, and we can. And so I want to conclude my short remarks with a call to action, which is that let us make digital payments an instrument of equity, because it is. Let us make AI ecosystems intentionally be ecosystems of innovation that serve many, that serve everyone that does not have any access today and deserves to have it, because we all deserve dignity and prosperity. And we in the global majority must collaborate and share models that work, share data and governance frameworks to ensure that we are moving together to harness the potential of our people in meaningful economic and social returns to really, really bring this inclusion dividend to life. I really believe that the inclusion dividend is within reach, but we must design it to be. I'm calling really India and the rest of the world. By 2030, when the next Findex comes out, we should not have 1.3 billion people excluded. We should have near zero people excluded, because the solutions we will have created from the collaborations and the frameworks that we will have shared, we will have done everything in our power to ensure that no one is left behind and everyone has equitable access to dignified financial services, of which digital payments is a foundational one, to get the world to where it can be. Thank you.